Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.
This is maybe the 7th time I provide this, or 8th time I provide this workshop. And I promise this time this is more advanced than any other times we provide. Although we use the same material as the standard one, but the topics we talked about are completely different. So I want to just share with you some extra advanced steps. So if you want to go on the road, on webinar, seminar, we can also spare 15 minutes at the end to talk about the difference between seminar and webinars. There's a 4 or 5 differentiations point I can share with you. But I want to make sure that you understand that this is the original sequence we start with. That's right. So we start with a hook, information nuggets. It can be 1, it can be 3, it can be whatever, based on the time allowed. It can be a form of question, then the answer of the question and the testimonial, or a proposition or a statement and description for it. Doesn't matter, that's right. Title, painful title, personal story, your name and personal story. Your agenda is what, why, and the challenges. You repeat the agenda or summarize the agenda. This is today what we learn. And then you give them an offer. And we spend on the offer, basic offer, the extras, frequently asked questions, offers, repeat the offer again, and then you give them what the investment is. The first 3 was a special discount, the guarantees, and you have the form already so they will sign. So this is the sequence we provide, and that's it. You are now ready to go if you can make it more engaging. So I promise at the beginning to explain the concept on a 5 layer of sophistication. So what is layer number 1? Is this structure. Can you stand here from 5 to 10 minutes and tell us, without any testimonial, without any stories, without any extras here, can you tell us this summary? So if you want to practice at your home, you do this layer first. You don't add the stories to it for second. This will be second step. So now you can do 5 to 10 minutes or 7 to 10 minutes presentation where it will not engage enough because you basically don't have enough time to build a rapport. Then you will start in level 2 to illustrate stories and testimonials. Okay?
As if we were the teacher.
You are the presenter. Yeah. What about level 3? In level 3, you should be able to design here activities. So what kind of activities you can provide? One activity we talk about it today is one of the steps here will be one step of your program. Okay? If I have 90 minutes, I can provide up to 3 activities. One activity each one can introduce themselves to others. One activity, can you share with us the quote of today? You can design activities, 2 to 3 engaging activities. Yes?
Would they all be around just that one step of your program? Or
Not necessarily. It can be different. Okay. But this will fit a 90 minutes bell. Okay. In a 20-minute bells, how many activity can you do? At most 1. That's right? Yeah. So if you have a selection of 1, the 1 should be what? Around what?
1 step of your program.
1 step of your program. Okay? Then in level 4, you should make it adaptive.
Make it what?
Adaptive. How you can adapt the stories and the testimonials to your audience. So can you verify that the stories and testimonials are adaptive and they adapt to your audience? So I will go and see, okay, who are my audience? Mainly massage therapists. Are all my testimonials and story around massage therapy? Who are my audience? A student in school. Are all my stories adaptive to students at school? Who are my audience? Are the teachers, where they allow me to offer my program to students at school? Are all my testimonial and story adaptive to the crowd? And when you talk about adaptive, this is here, you will increase the number of stories.
So give me an example of an activity.
You had the,
So meaning like find a partner and discuss this.
yes,
You're A, you're B, and
Yeah.
what your answers to these
Yes.
questions.
yes, this is one of the activities.
And
One of the activities is, can you, each one of you select a word from here and tell me which word you select and what does it mean to you? The word selection is important because what I will get from the word selection, I will get 4 quadrant. Okay. So if I have a list of words here, 25 words or something like this, and I say each one of you can select the top 5 words which will resonate with him or her. And can you share the top word? So you share a word. I will immediately say, who else here has similar word? If your word, for example, is love, it means what?
Heart.
How many here has a love related word? People will raise their hand. What I'm segmenting right now, I will use do you think or do you feel? That's it.
Feel.
I will use your feel. So these activities are not made to fill the time, and they are not made to teach anything other than teaching the speakers the demographic of people who stand in front of him, and which language they can use. This is how professionals are using these activities. You can also use the activity to affirm and confirm pain points. So each one can mark the status of their business. You have from blue to red, 5 levels. How many of you here has the red? How many of you here has the purple? How many of you here has the neutral? How much money do you make from your business? How many here is more than $1 million? How many here less than $1 million? How many here is losing money? They raise their hands. So you can use these activities to collect information. I go to attend meetings and people are supposed to sell at the end of it. And I cannot, with the amount of knowledge I have, to correlate between the activity and the requirement to sell the program. And I don't think I'm an average guy in this business. I believe I'm more than average. So when I cannot correlate, I immediately understand that this speaker has what? A problem. They just seen somebody did the activity, so I want to do like them. I fired one partner because after I came from the stage, he stand on the microphone and said, "Now guys, each one give high five, thank you for a while," and he changed the whole mood of the room. He was fired. And this is something I will talk about it in the very next 5 minutes, why you cannot do that.
so when you're with adaptive, what do you mean with the story? So you make it adaptive to the audience.
Make it more relevant to the audience.
Yeah, but what about the story that you wrote below?
So each one of these stories
Yeah.
must be more relevant to the audience.
Okay.
So if the audience are from the demolishing part of the construction, or they are more into the
Construction part.
the bridge constructions and the roads,
Or
they are more into the homes or single homes or high-end homes or compound, or more they are into the hostels and the specialty constructions, They are more into the steel construction, again is the concrete construction, again is what they call it, envelope, envelope?
Well, it's concrete, post-tension concrete, sir.
Or envelopes,
And building envelopes?
building envelopes, they
Yeah.
are different. So can you make the stories and the testimonials more relevant? You cannot start from relevancy, by the way, because you need first to practice the first one. Second, practice the second one. Third, plan the activities and practice the whole sequence with the activities. Fourth, imagine who are your different audience and make it adaptive. The last level, which is very important, is you ask for affirmation or confirmation. And you have to remember this as a standalone. Do you relate? Do you agree? You know the question which is yes or yes? Yes or yes? Have you heard Michaela before?
I've
Yeah,
heard that.
Millionaire
Yes or
Mind
yes.
uses it.
Not only millionaires, many people. Yes or yes?
I've heard it before.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Is it yes or yes?
It sounds awkward to me.
It
It
sells.
sounds really weird.
It sells. Are you interested in
It's
the?
like saying, do you agree though?
Right.
You automatically take them towards an automatic yes answer.
Right.
It's acceptance.
But are you actually suggesting that we say, do you agree, yes or yes?
I'm not suggesting to say this particular verbiage.
Okay.
What I am looking for is you look at level 5
Yeah.
to ask for affirmation and confirmation.
Right.
Do you agree?
Right. Does that resonate?
Can you relate? Does this resonate?
Right. Right.
Will you do this? I love to have this as a level because after each story, after each testimonials, after each pain point, as much as you can, you have to get the audience to knock their heads upside down. And don't tell me if they knock it left, right, what does it mean? You know, I trained individuals say, do you agree? And people will connect. Like you see now, you are writing. You cannot connect with me, so you cannot see me.
Yeah.
But do you agree? And everybody will knock their heads up and down. So yes and yes or yes, it sounds funny to you when you think about it in the iterations. Right now we iterate around it, we talk about it, we repeat it here, or when you retain it. But inside the action, people will just say, I cannot hear you. Can you say yes or yes? Yes! Be louder. Say it. Yes! It will take them the motive to the other thing. To the other level.
Yeah, that's considered accelerated learning if you participate in that type of a workshop.
With the emotion as well.
Yeah.
With the highest voice. So this is a level on its own, which we call it ask for affirmation. So to make your presentation triple A presentation, you need to consider activities adapted to the audience and ask for affirmation, confirmation whenever you can. This is what will make it triple A presentation. Okay? And believe me, if I give the same talk for the 2 days workshop, it was almost 2 days workshop here, 80% of the content will be the same. Because this is how I remember, and that's why sometimes I look at some individuals of you, because I know this, when I prepare myself, I know I will look at this particular seat and I say this and this and this. This one, so that's how I train myself. So please take as example, I'm not intelligent guy, by the way. I don't know how to talk to hard people.
Never knock yourself down like that.
No, I'm not.
permitted.
I'm not intelligent guy, but I learn how to talk and run. You notice when you were writing, you were not with me, so I cannot.
Well, I was hearing what you were saying.
but
but I
it's
was
a heart-to-heart connections.
Right,
So
yeah.
you have to keep balanced eye contact. You have to balance, and you have to connect with silence. When I stop and don't say the statement, blah, 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 because we connect with silence, which is so funny. We speak to connect, by being silent, which is very interesting. Do you agree on the triple A thing? Triple A speaking?
On the what?
Triple A. It's triple A.
Triple A.
A. Oh.
It's a triple
I wasn't
A.
looking at you when you wrote that. It's triple A. Well, a comment about you is that you're a very fast presenter.
Really?
And yes, too fast for me, because I'm slow integrating material that you're teaching, which has great value. So that's why I need to write,
Sure.
capture everything
No.
I can.
And that's why I have to stop and wait for you to finish writing, because it's
Yeah.
heart-to-heart connections.
Yeah.
And
So
I
then
always
say it. This is a heart-to-heart connection. Stop writing.
and
we'll
this
look
is
at
what
you.
exactly I want you to do. I don't want you to stand with notes.
Yeah.
I don't want you to stand with teleprompter. It doesn't help you. All what you need to do is have a conversation with your audience, 20 minutes to 90 minutes, without papers, without notes, without PowerPoint. Even if you have PowerPoint, the PowerPoint should be addressing this information. The stories will be different based on different audience. So you should be able to put this different testimonials or different images and swap them or change them when you need, based on the adaptive stories. Okay? So I hope you got the view of how you give a presentation. Now, what will happen after you give your offer and people will fill the form to sign up? What you will say? I will be at the door. If you have any questions, more than happy to answer them. Okay? So after you get down from the stage, where you will be?
At the door.
At the door to do what?
Answer the
Answer
question.
questions.
And the questions are about what?
The order form.
Are about what the questions? The question will represent what?
What they need to know to complete.
So there are objections.
Objections to advance them.
That's right?
Addressing, yeah.
So there are objections. And that's why if you run your workshop, anybody helping you in the workshop must be trained on overcoming what?
Objections.
Objection. Because I can come to Michaela and ask her, or I can come to Mike, or I can come to Mariana with my form to say, you know what? I don't want to sign. I don't feel the program for me. So what Mariana will say, oh, no, don't worry about it. I know, it's okay. Yeah. She did not overcome the objections. So you were 30 seconds or 15 seconds away from a new sign-up. Because you got your friend Mariana, or your sister Mariana, or your spouse, or your kids, or somebody from the street, and you never told her what are the objections. So in section 13, we talked about overcoming closing objections. Okay?
That's at the door.
This is what will be at the door, or sometimes we say it will be at the back table. You guys can go to the back table and hand in your form.
Are we on the back page here?
Yes.
I'm not sure where you are. Did you say 16?
13, 1, 3.
Oh, okay.
There is no 16 here. This is end at 14. So when you say you now hand in your form to the back table, and I will be at the back table, or I will be at the back door to answer your questions. You expect to hear what?
Yeah,
More
objection.
objections. So if I come to Claude and say, and I'm leaving. So it's Claude.
yeah,
Claude role to do what? Why you did not sign?
Yes.
Is there any unchecked boxes, or is there any questions prevent you from signing? It's not to say, oh, thank you.
Exactly.
Okay. So we have a special course of 2 days on sales and the closing deals, and these objections here are no different than the frequently asked questions. There's only one difference in the practice. Who here asking the question? Here you ask your question yourself and you answer it, that's right? Here, who has the question?
The potential client.
The one in front of you.
Yeah.
So you have to be proactively, very
Right.
active, with the same tone, with the same pace. Oh yeah, I know, it's expensive. I know it's expensive. Don't do that. Oh, it's expensive? Compared to what? Have you ever considered not moving forward and joining the program? Why are you here? You have been here and you agreed on every single message have been delivered from the stage. Did you knock your head up and down? Did you say yes or yes? Do you agree that this is you are here for help? So why are you stopping? So this is a complete different skill set, which is the only one around the table I'm aware of is not has the luxury not to attack it will be Claude because he's selling to companies. But sometimes he has to.
I could be selling to individuals also.
I'm saying this because I want to make sure you guys that's what I say is the rule, and rule number one of the rules, you know the rule and you break it. Okay, so the rule may happen or may not happen to you, but if I'm standing here and I made 20 minutes to 90 minutes presentations, I work my ass hard, and now all what's behind a signature here, between you and the signature here of an extra client is what? Is somebody who can read from here the objection scripts and they can practice them. So he can stand by you sharing the same objections answers and address them. This is what's missing. So when we go and say, I'm doing a workshop, I'm great, you know what? Tina is coming to help me. Who's Tina? Did she sell before? No, she's struggling like me. Okay, so you and Tina struggle together somewhere else. Don't waste people's time. It's very important to know what to say. And it's very important, everybody in the room, their job number one is what? Making transformation to people's life by getting them to sign to your program. You know what? Some people say, oh yeah, you know, I know her, she's cool, she's my friend for the last 22 years and you always go hang around. It's not about that. You know, like some people say, oh, we really like the speaker, but we are not ready to sign. Oh yeah, she's cool. I know her for 22 years and we go every weekend together. Sorry, what? Are you here for professional selling in a professional environment, or are you here for hanging around? And what bugs me is you will find these ladies talking to each other and people are coming by and they put the forms and they put the form. They don't even give an eye. They don't stare at them. And they'll just be talking, yeah, how did you do? What did you cook? And this is the kids and everybody's putting the forms. Why? Did you see this or not? Did you experience this in the sessions you go to, guys, or not?
Like I attended maybe 3 or 4 of DeMartini's presentations.
Yeah, he's coming
Like
next week, I
seminars.
believe.
Yeah,
That's right?
yeah. So there's anywhere from 100 to 120 people in the room. And out of that number, there's maybe 5 or 10 who sign up.
He's not doing it good.
So the people at the back of the room are not addressing the objections because nobody's ever asked me, why are you not signing up?
Yep.
I just came here because I was curious. So how do you answer that?
I came here for years. I know everybody around you here is curious. However, if you want to get more value to address your curiosity, we recommend that you can put your signature here, so you can get more value of what you have. And this one-time offer is free to join. And if you don't like it, you can basically, like we join a few programs on a phone call, and after the first call, we basically cancel the program. This was a very strong like transformational speaker, and we cancel the program because everybody in the room understand. This was like 400 people in the room. Maybe 80% sign up. And everybody understand it's free to practice. They put their credit cards, they will not get a charge if they cancel. It's 1 month free. They will have 2 conference calls. And when people realize that she repeats the same exact information in the conference call, they basically like cancel their sign up. So she has, I believe, 95% or more cancellations after the first 2 weeks.
Who's that?
Somebody I'm working with. So overcome objections. If you did network marketing or multi-level marketing before, or insurance selling,
A lot
they
of
give you
training on that, yeah.
scripts. What we have here are similar scripts that you can customize them for your own work. Okay? Just figure out some scripts. And please practice training for people who comes with you to these particular events. Or if the events is like 8 people, 10 people, 20 people, you may be able to address all of them yourself. But don't allow somebody to collect a form without being trained, at least to say, you know what, go to Claude, stand in line.
Yes, exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
You must do that because you are very close, you did your work all the way. So, any question on that? I don't want to go through more objections. If you, just for you guys, if you want to practice this, do one presentation, record it on your phone, put it to your YouTube or whatever, send it to me. I promise I will watch it within 2 days and I'll give you some feedback. If you want to do the layers. So start with level 1, level 2. If you have questions, email them to me. I promise I will get back. I'm a little bit getting into the overwhelming situation as well from responsibility, but I will devote enough time to honor your participation in that. So you can, more than happy to give you feedback at any level. So one big question we always get into knowing, so will this work anywhere? Yes, this will work anywhere if you have the right setting. So what is the right setting? Are you here in the right setting for sale? Unfortunately, you are here not in the right setting. So one of the discussions we want to always concern about is the room layout.
Ah, yes.
So is this meeting room an ultimate meeting room for selling from the stage? The answer is no. What is the very first the most important part of selling from the stage? What do you need to establish?
Everybody needs to see you.
What do you need to establish?
seating
A heart connection.
Yeah.
So I need to establish a heart connection. So if the stage is here, if this is the stage, I need to establish a heart connection. That's right?
So you're not talking about the quadrant.
No, I want to talk to you.
Quadrant, like as a
The quadrant-
relationship, you're just talking as a human being.
Human being.
Okay.
I will emphasize the connection by using the right word for the quadrant. But if I'm standing in front of you and I want to build a heart connection, what way you can sit compared to me? Will you, direct. And that's why if you go to number 14, the theater settings are the top conversion settings. Okay? Where everybody can see the speaker, and the speaker has to walk on the stage to establish eye contact, and most importantly, what?
Heart-to-heart connection.
Heart-to-heart connections. So when I'm on the stage, or when I'm on a big stage, I cannot connect with everybody. So I will know that majority of my connections will be in the first 2-3 rows. Like the largest audience I had was more than 14,000 people in a stadium.
14,000.
Yes, in the Middle East we have like stadiums and places in universities where you can have 14,000.
That's
Okay.
a lecture. You're presenting a lecture.
This is a lecture. And you'll be surprised how many of them will connect and follow to the next level. Because this situations, all what I need is an email or sign up form, and they sign up for the form. I cannot sell. That's right. You cannot pass 14,000 get motivated, they don't pass the form. You go back to the form, line up in the back for the form. So,
You buy online, in other words.
or you buy online, another word, yeah. So, the stages is very important. So, when you have people sitting around here from the stage, and people sitting around here, and these people here, these people will never have a chance to have a heart connections. So the best arrangement, the most converting arrangement is the theater setting with a clear pathways to the back tables. And the door always is in the back. Okay? So we had the situations when we had the speakers and they went into this, not Da Vinci, Michelangelo. There's a place here downtown on 17th Avenue with 8th Street. Is Michelangelo, whatever, gallery or whatever. And what happened is we had the room sitting right, and suddenly we had a flux of people who we cannot find spots. So everybody was going everywhere, grabbing whatever bench, whatever seats, and what happened? They had no pathways to the back. So after the talk, what happened? Because you don't have a clear pathways to the back,
Just congestion.
people will leave from this door. So if you leave from this door, you will go home or you will go to sign up in the back. You will go A or B. Which way you will go to?
Depends how convinced.
No. Remember, they are tribunal. They are the tribe. When they see the tribe will leak, what will happen?
They will follow their boss or the leader.
Okay. So that's why when you have captive audience, you should have the back door, and every other door, when people get in from every other door, they will always have it's a locked, or they have somebody manning the door that nobody is leaving from this door. How often you go these scenarios, and then everybody has to have here, and when you stand here, you have to be not busy to give an eye contact for everybody not signing the form. Because sometimes people need this extra look to sign up. It's so fun. Why you laugh? It's so funny.
Because I totally get that.
Okay, so why you don't apply it? Because your table was in the wrong location. Everybody will go.
It was, yeah.
So I don't.
didn't have
I
a
don't.
choice in that either.
So I don't participate in this. I will either take the. That's why when I go very early, I go very early. If I am on the stage,
Yeah.
I will go before even the organizers, and then I will go stand where exactly people will go to the washroom in the break, and I will stand there to make sure I have my table in this location. Because for me, it's just one opportunity which comes how often? Not very often, and even it's not very often because if you even speaking every day, you are in front of different audience every day. Okay, so the layout of the room is very important. So the layout, which is theater, what is the second selling layout?
It's a U-shape, depending on the number of people. again.
U-shape doesn't have a heart connection. U-shape like here doesn't have a heart connection.
This is not a U-shape.
This is a U-shape.
Okay.
U-shape doesn't have heart connection. And
The
U-shape
classroom?
for selling is very hard. I know I do sometimes my workshops here, but I'm not, like if I'm in a hotel, I will always go for
Theater.
theater setting.
Is that the second one is classroom then? Or
The second one can be the classroom.
or the,
What's the problem of the classroom?
well, there's tables.
And the tables create what?
Barrier.
People have their back to you. Some people have
No,
their
if
back.
you have
No.
the table, if you have like the classroom here, like the classroom, people will have tables.
There's a barrier.
And the tables will create barriers, psychological
Oh, I
barriers.
see. Yeah.
So is a cluster better then than the classroom, or it doesn't?
The cluster cabaret is an alternative if you have only round tables.
Okay.
Because sometimes we'll do activities, sometimes people will have to write. Sometimes you have no control on the venue.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I'm going to like 4 venues in the next 2 weeks. I have no control. Sometimes even I don't know how the venues look like. All what I know is that they are starting one venue at 7 o'clock and I supposed to be there somewhere between 6 to 6:30 to make sure that I will have a table on the people exit. That's it. That's it. Because if they give me the table to the right of the stage, what will happen?
People will exit without going to your table.
Okay. So you want to be stumbled upon. Very important.
In order
Very
to
important.
people.
If you work hard the 20 minutes to 90 minutes on the stage, and if you train your assistants and your people to sign up for your program, you must not miss for a potential of wrong layout. If you do a full day workshop and you sell, they will have dinners and foods, is cabaret style will be acceptable. Okay, because sometimes we do like one full day, because like in Claude example, people will go for 1 day, and then he can sell them a different package. So when you give the learning, you have to stop the learning at certain point where you send them more information on the rest of your program. And you have to seed inside the full day where you will talk to them about the different programs and how they can experience it. So this layout is very important. The round for sure is wrong. The full meeting is completely wrong.
Unless you stand in the center.
You'll
It's
give
big
your
enough
back.
that you're in the middle of it.
Yeah, but you'll give
Go
your
in circles.
you will give your back to the back.
Well, not constant.
Yeah, but you will not be able to sustain hard connections.
I agree.
Okay. So one most important part when you talk to people to sign up. So when you come after the guarantee and people will sign up, if you don't have time to run them through the form, the host shall not come and talk to people and say, oh yeah, give now a big shout to so and now high five to the one beside you, and you change the mood.
Yeah.
In the professional settings, what will happen is you will find that the music will come slowly, and the speakers will go down from the stage. Nobody is telling now it's 20 minutes, 15 minutes break even. It's up to the speaker. So people will usually say you have a speaker and then you have 15 minutes. You have a speaker and 15 minutes. The 15 minutes is for sign up. Having a speaker after a speaker and then the last one will sign up, they will sign up to the last one only. So we were here in one of the events when they were trying to do this, but they were not professional. And what happened is they have the speaker, and after the speaker is done and they have their program already set up. It used to be in what is the old area by the river? In Bonas Community Center, something like this. And what happened is, after the MC will come, oh, can I ask you 2 questions? Which book do you read, and who do you follow? And I was sitting there, the guy did a very good job. Leave him alone to get 5 or 10 subscribers. Like nobody is getting a value of knowing which books I read. People will get a value of the side of my program. But you will find this very interesting organizers who have no, and then after that this organization ran this show one time, and they didn't know why nobody bought anybody program. And it was very clear. I was sitting there, it was very clear to me.
Because I know when I go to the Power Within, they say we're going to take a 15-minute break if we want to partake in a program. All the order forms are at the back of the room.
Yeah. But if I come and say, Mike, which books do you read? And
Yeah.
okay, so the mood of the room, it cannot be broken. I was gifted enough to a certain extent that I get people like as if they are, I was not call it to control them, but people will come, pick up their pens and just follow.
So what do you do if you're at the back of the room and 10 people want to ask you questions and there's one guy monopolizing the objections?
You basically put him aside and tell him, would you mind just if I take care of this and then I talk to you? Because at a certain point you have to make a decision if this guy will not buy from you. If he doesn't buy from you,
Yeah.
it's great. He can be a friend for the coffee break, but should not hold you from the line of buying. Now,
You got to find the eloquence to let that person know.
you by practice you will be able to do it.
Yeah.
You have to do a rapport balance with me.
You know.
Yeah.
Like I was in this function in the Mills Street, and the speaker before me, everybody was talking, and after I done the day, I had some sign up, and then I went to the next function to the same group. Everybody came to me and said, "We would like to join. I have a special session for them. We will join your special session because you were amazing. Let everybody stop talking and engage with you for at least 10 to 15 minutes in this awful venue. You really know what you do." I said, "Yeah, I teach this, so you guys could come. We have this complimentary session with this organization for you." So I had like almost everybody I met in the second one, because the first speaker will start to talk. Everybody's talking, chatting by the, Mill Street is like very awkward, like an L shape. I am the one who standing and give few comments, few things, and then people start to listen to me. It's just obvious. If they are not interested, I'm not here to talk. Okay, I can go enjoy with them. Why do I bother them? So the minute I start saying, "What? If you guys don't listen to me, I'm not here to talk. I will just come and a PowerPoint presentation. I'll make it available on if you want to see it." Guess what happened? No. Let's go with the program. Do you guys want to be in the program? Yes. Okay. So let's start. I had like good 10-15 minutes attention, like amazing. I still have 20% in the back of the L they cannot connect, which is okay, but majority in this area was connecting with me. So you have to consider these particular situations. Another question we always ask is, what about lighting? The lighting are made for people to see you, to make a heart connection. So you don't dim the light and have the projector here. People need to see you. Okay? What about microphones? Do you want to use microphone or without microphone?
But depending on the size of the room.
With microphone, even in a smaller room.
Yeah.
Because your job is to make it easy for people
To understand what you're saying.
to make a heart connection. That's it. Understanding what you say is part of the heart, maybe the heart connections.
I like it.
So you want to make it easy. Now, slides or flip chart. So in 15.3, slides or flip chart. Which one do you want to use? Do you want to use slides or flip chart?
I use flip chart.
If you are on a webinar, you have other ways than slides. We recommend to have slides for the offer. Because the offer, it will be hard on a flip chart. If you have no other than flip chart, you can basically draft your offer before or draft it while you talk about. But this will not be a sophisticated offer. So you cannot make it sweet and sweeter and sweeter and sweeter, okay? Your offer can be something very simple. So you need to consider the amount of sophistication when you can have an offer on slides or flip chart. I was able to do offers on whiteboard and people will sign up for it. Now, how much information do I put? I say I have this particular next workshop. Here is the form, is that much? And what I'm here willing to offer you 1, 2, 3. And the first ones will sign up, will get an extra discount of so and so, and that's it. So how much sophistication? But I encourage you to practice to have what we talked about on page 16, which has a discount, make it more sweeter and sweeter, because part of the objections might be that you can give this extra thing. This will help you also consider what is the lowest numbers you accept for your offer. So I have a lowest number. I cannot go below the lowest number per head. I have an extra number, I have an extra number. Many people will come to me and try to push me as low as they can get. So for my workshops, I have a lowest number. I cannot run below this lowest number.
What do you mean you have a lowest number?
Like for your workshop, what is the lowest number you can run your workshop at?
Otherwise, you start losing money.
So in other words, like, taking into account all your overhead, like cost of the room rental and stuff like
Everything.
And your salary and why you are doing it and so many other
that.
stuff.
So if I only have
2 people.
four people coming at $50 each in my room is 300, you just cancel the event?
Yeah. Yeah.
Those 4 people might not convert?
If you have a confidence that these 4 people will convert and the one conversion of them will be significant enough for you, you may run your show. Okay? So you have to make these decisions. However, my experience when I expose and I force people to follow from 11.7 to 11.11, when I force people to write these numbers by discussing it with them and to try to convince them to put these different layers, people will come and realize that what they sell is they sell it lower than the value they should sell it at, or they completely cannot make living out of this offer. So there was 2 people here, some of you may remember them, and they were trying to do this mindset program. And they found out that this mindset program, or whatever they want to do, it wouldn't make money, because immediately when we start to talk about what is the benefit, how much money you can reduce, they have the feeling, because these ladies are broke, they have the feeling that everybody else is broke. So they said, oh, nobody can buy it, can pay that much money, and we need so many people. And then they realize quickly that they cannot run a program. So you should be able to have at least 3 to 5 layers of discounts of your program. The other thing is, if I want to sell your program to CPL against Mike and Co here, which one should pay the premium? CPL or Mike and Co? CPL is the largest construction companies, right?
Oh, PCL.
Oh,
PCL, sorry, PCL.
Okay.
Yeah.
So PCL or Mike and Co here.
Oh, PCL.
So I should be able to offer Mike and Co the PCL pricing and make it compelling for them to join within their means. So
Right.
I should be able to show them.
Yeah, how it's converted to their
But
size.
but
and
if
capacity. PCL.
if PCL comes to talk to Mike, PCL needs to know the price is what?
So much for them.
Is what PCL is paying.
Yeah.
So you should be able to look at these numbers. Any questions? Any questions?
No, well, so the 3 to 5 layers, it's for each one. Yeah.
Yeah, but usually for you will not be H1, because usually for you will be like a 20-minute seminar, which most likely will go for free or for $10, $20. It will be maybe a workshop and maybe your mastermind or your group right away. So for each one of us is like 3 to 5 access point. It's not everything. So, but you should consider this. Like for your website, like we have our websites and we sell some products to our website. So we have minimum targets we have to hit every month. The product does not meet and comes to anybody here in Canada. However, we have some targets to meet every month. Otherwise, we cannot afford continue what we are doing. So we know the minimum, we know the maximum, we know where people can pay, and we know how we can get the very special discounts. I'm not telling you this so you guys can come back and negotiate your fees with me, okay? But I'm saying, and to be honest with you, I am maybe one of the very few who have a tough situation, because I share with you the backstage of what I do. So sometimes I feel like, like I have no privacy. Upside down, inside out what I do.
The naked truth.
The naked truth. But this is what you have to do if you run a program. Now, support staff we talked about. So 15.4 we talked about support staff. So what support staff means people are not family related to you. They are not your friends, they are not your spouse, they are not your girlfriend, they are not your boyfriend. I had a customer who always have his girlfriend, and guess what? Every 2-3 months we go to one of his events and he has a new girlfriend. And he talks about crush your stress and be a good person, and which complete out of if somebody is following him like me, because he's my customer, so I help him. I go and so if somebody will come 2-3 times and they see 2-3 different girlfriends, it's his right to have girlfriends. We don't care, okay? However, it's not the right message. So why do I say she's my girlfriend?
Yeah.
My assistant is good enough. And we talked more about how you can, what kind of training you need to do. If you have this is your secret document. You don't share it with people, but when you write it, when you have your objections written, you can take a copy of the objection and share it with people who are coming to help you. If some support staff will come, you can basically make a copy of this and tell her, okay, here is the objections, and this is the expected questions in an orientation. So you walk them through. Then, most important part is the clock. You should be able to clock yourself. Not to be on the timer state, but you should be able to go here and say, I know this will take me 20 minutes. That's right. So I must have some anchor point where I know exactly where the 5-minute mark will be, and the one where is the 10-minute marks will be, and the one where is the 15 minutes mark will be. So if I am behind, what I will do, I will not tell all the story here. And if I am before the time, what I will do, I will expand a little bit more.
Exactly. You've got room to play that.
Okay? And that's why I cannot use notes. I cannot use cards because it's a heart-to-heart connection. I may find you entertained more with a specific story. So what I will do, I keep pushing more information to you through the story. I will not take it away and go somewhere else. So I do have my clock here because I record my material and I have the clock, and I have option not to show the monitor, but I always have the option. I see the mic recording, so I see my green line going up and down, especially when somebody else is speaking. Sometimes I turn the microphone because I want to get the recording as well. And I also have the timer, so I know exactly how long this have been recorded. And I know I target. Sometimes you need to have your clock in front of you. You know, you start at 2 o'clock and you can look at the arrow. Now and then.
Yeah.
Okay?
Constantly staring.
No, it's not constantly staring, but you can sneak a peek and just say, now I know it's now, and I know from here. And there is nothing wrong with having a sheet, but you don't look at the sheet. Like nothing wrong with having a formula like here, and I know where is my sequence. If you feel, especially in the very beginning, you don't have confidence to stand without it. But having the form and have the intention not to read from it.
Yeah.
But you can basically look at the clock, you can look at the time, and then you can actually skip one. Now, if I have the sheets in front of me, all the audience will know that you are skipping 2 sheets. It means what?
You missed something.
It means you are cheating. You have more information, you don't want to share it with us. You have information, you are hiding it from us. Do I have a heart connection with you or not? Right now.
Oh, yeah, heart connection is
It's over.
Yeah.
Because you are hiding from me information. And when you come and say, oh, we don't have a time to finish this, we just do one more example, it's much worse. Because I feel I'm not taken care of. You did not spend, I feel I'm missed out. This all what gets into people's subconscious mind. And it takes away from your credibility. I know for some of you may listen to this and say, oh yeah, this is too much. Believe me, you don't need to say it, you don't need to articulate it, it will work much nicer. To share with you an example here, we went to this particular lawyer office for a presentation by one of this Calgary Economic Development or whatever it is. And very nice scenery from the roof. And we can look at there, like the 14th, 30th floor, whatever. You can see the whole valley. It was very amazing. From downtown, you can see all these areas. And then we had the speaker, which is supposed to be a very intelligent woman who ran a container business, which sells everywhere and make a millions, and she sell it. And then she did a very good job for the first 15 minutes or so. And then she came and said, you know what, guys, hold on, I have to go to review my notes to make sure I covered all the points. And she went in and said, oh yeah, I want to also tell you that I'm not a good, I don't prepare good, so I have all these sticky notes. So I want to make sure. And then she was, what the crap? She was doing a very great job. Why she doesn't? Why she even needs? She was not selling us anything, because you know they got this marquee individuals as entrepreneurs, who usually they say you don't have passion to be entrepreneur, and I know it sucks and you shouldn't do it. So why don't I don't know? It's a different story. But for me, it was very interesting. You have been doing a great job. What value did I get when I know that you are sloppy, have sticky notes, did not prepare for us? You don't know what you talk about. Why? Why? So sometimes we because we are a heart-centric people, we want to make sure people will feel that they are taken care of. We say these sentences, although it has a reflection to the contrary of our objectives. Do you agree?
Yes.
So why you do it? Why you guys keep doing it? Unconsciously. Okay.
Something to be
You know? One more thing also we talk about at the very beginning, you don't apologize. You don't say I'm sorry. You don't say, oh, we are starting late. You don't say, oh, it's sunny outside and you are sitting here in this room. I'm standing between you and the coffee break. Oh, don't worry, I will be very quick. Oh, I know it's a very long day for you guys, and you don't say these things. My mentor, before he passed away, he said, you have to visualize the following. Audience in front of you are opening their skull, exposing their brain to you, to your wisdom. So what is the wise information you want to give them? That you are boring, you are sorry, thank you Heather for introduction. No, you want to start with the hook to show them how good you are, to show them the skills you have, the knowledge you have. You want to thank the host for introducing you and doing a great job. After your personal story, come and say, and that's exactly why Heather invited me here to talk to you guys, to learn from my experience. Thank you, Heather. Please give a hand to Heather. When you position this after your personal story, it gives you what? Credibility. And when they give a hand to Heather, means what? They thank Heather for bringing you in. So they agree that you are
exceptional or expert.
Expert. That's right. Now, if I say this at the very beginning, what does it mean? Will it make a difference?
I think so.
Do you agree now, after this almost 1.5 day or 2 days of sharing knowledge here, do you agree that if you say this at the very beginning will take away from your credibility?
It will. Doesn't have the same impact at
Does it
all.
have the same impact? So I have the luxury when people come and say this sorry and affirm the obvious. So we don't thank the host, we don't say sorry, and we don't affirm the obvious, and we don't provide our title, and we don't talk about ourselves. None of these 5 things you should do at the very beginning. Your title will be where? After you go through the circles, after you show them how expert you are in the field, and now what's the topic you talk about. Your personal story has more than 5 minutes in 20 minutes presentation. You can go up to 5 minutes, 25% of the time. But if you come and say, oh, and the title today, I will talk to you about accounting and bookkeeping, and Mike, who is building so many businesses, and everybody come and say, hi Mike, you are fabulous, we are doing this, we work for Mercedes-Benz, we work for BMW, and we did the marketing for so and so and so and so, and you walk on the street, you see our face, and you are everywhere, we have this magazine. I don't care. Being blunt, I don't care. The minute you start to say, the problems I'm helping my customer with this so and so, everybody has similar problems. You have the problem and you are not aware of. Who are you? I want to know more. Can you tell me who are you? But if you start saying, I am the greatest creator of all the time, I'm Solomon, you know, like people, God gave me the gift which nobody else has. Okay, that's good for you.
I'm wonderful. How
So,
do you like
but-
me so far?
What did you say,
I
what?
said I'm wonderful. How do you like me so far?
Yeah.
And
But Marielle, what about like in a place like Karen, Brilliant Connection? She wants to introduce you.
she will. And
Yeah.
thank you. So I don't stand and repeat the introduction.
No, okay.
So, and this is a good point. If you have your own venue, your own event, you should get one of your good customers or your friend introduce you. So you never discount the introduction by a third party. And you never discount that the third party will tell their personal story and how they got value from you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And how they support you now because they want to spread your message. But when you go stand on the stage, you anchor yourself to the ground, you make eye contact with few individuals, and you look at them quietly, and then you start to talk for them to open up. We used to do this exercise here, and we used to ask people to stand and steer to people for 2 minutes, which is too much. It's supposed to be 10 seconds to 30 seconds maximum
Oh,
of standing. You anchor your heel.
mhm.
So you see, you can hear my toes, right? You anchor your heel to the stage, you stand up, and you make eye contact with people, and now say welcome, or now you say, do you know 20%? Do you know? Statistics showed 90%, and you keep steering to their eyes. So I used to run this exercise here, and people will stand here for 2 minutes, and you should try 2 minutes. Guess what will happen? After 30 seconds, you will feel uncomfortable.
And people will lose interest in why you're there.
So we do this on purpose because we will come. I had situation when people will stand here and say, "Oh yeah, hi, let's go," and now we start, and they didn't even anchor themselves. So if you come on the way talking, you are not creating the
heart-to-heart
curiosity in their mind, the heart-to-heart connections. I know, like you, when you stand it like last time, you start to look at, you want to own your own space, so you stand it, you breathed, and you like acted to me like meditation. It's good if it does not take longer, because now you are ready. Okay, so you can do that. You never get emotional. You never get emotional. If you start to get emotional, you are losing the audience. If you cry, you put you call it the superficial tears. Because if you can get acting but not emotional. Actors in movies, they will not cry from their heart. They will acting as crying. Because you still need to keep control of yourself, because your goal is what? To get these individuals invited to your program. Because I know you try to get into the emotional side, you can't. You have to, I don't want to say forge it or fake it, but you can't. You have to have your mind in your centered with your heart to convert people to your program.
So your story should never have evoke emotions.
It can,
that triggers your emotions. You don't want to use words or subject that triggers your emotions. Like, if I was to talk about my dad, it would trigger emotions.
Right.
Oh, I will not talk about my dad. That's what I meant, right?
Yeah.
and in advanced training you can do, he can still talk about his dad, but not talking about his dad from the heart.
Right.
He will talk about his dad from
As
the
a
brain.
third party.
From the brain.
Mm.
So because I've seen some speakers, they evoke emotions in the audience. However, and sometimes they do shed a couple tears.
There's only one lady I know she is doing it, and she's brilliant. She's 82 years old, and she can get 80% of the room to sign up to her program. But she is Deborah, and she's the only Deborah in the world she can do it. Nobody at our level, in even higher levels than us, evoke emotion. Like this lady will
So
stand.
is this particular so you saying in a workshop it's okay, but in selling from the stage it's not?
In selling from the stage, for sure is not.
Yeah.
In a workshop, I don't see the need for it. You are always the master of the game. You are always in control. You have to make sure people have the feeling that you are taking care of them. People are doing empathy, not sympathy. The only place is when we raised the money for the family foundations. I raised about, I think, $45,000 in 7 minutes. We had to get into emotional because this is just a game.
Yeah.
But if I'm standing educating people on self-worth, on personal education, on, you are just 2 steps ahead of them. So if you cry and they are not crying, it means what? You are 2 steps behind them. That's right. So I know some other business coaches will tell you, let your emotion go through. Let your emotion go through as long as you don't lose control. If you lose control from the room and people will start to bring you, it's called napkin or handkerchief. Kleenex actually,
Tissue.
or tissue.
Yeah.
Kleenex actually is very interesting. Kleenex is a trademark for a company which replaces the name. This is how strong a trademark can be. There's a company called Kleenex. So it's called tissue or napkins or
Handkerchief?
yeah, handkerchief. But they know Kleenex is the name of is a trademark, and is so used to. It's like when you have this soda, we call it Pepsi. Do you want a Pepsi or Coke? It means the soda. It doesn't mean the brand. That's right. Yeah. So when you have this, always that's a joke. People will come say, "Can I have a Coke?" And you hand them Pepsi, and they are very fine, because they don't mean Coca-Cola or
You
Coke.
mean a soda.
They mean the black soda. Okay.
Cola soda.
Yeah. So this is how strong a brand can be. It can replace the vocabulary and definition of its own product.
Like Skidoo. Well, Skidooing this weekend.
Yeah.
Ah,
And you Google.
Instead of snowmobiling, right?
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
And you Google. For me, Skidoo means you go in the water from not the because
That's
I-
a Sea-Doo.
Sea-Doo, yeah.
It's a Sea-Doo.
Yeah, this is what you do. For me, Sea-Doo means you go for the waterfront and you have the Sea-Doo.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's Suzuki or Yamaha or Sea-Doo, because Sea-Doo is a brand. It doesn't matter which one.
Or people in construction use a skill saw. There's all kind of
Yeah.
brand names for
There's another
circular
one.
saws. Yeah.
But scale saw is one that seems to be
Dominant.
The dominant one. Yeah.
Okay, so clocks are very important, and the way to time yourself right is not to time yourself by the time. However, in the very beginning, it's recommended to go and say 00, how many minutes you want to put by, but don't follow like Toastmaster.
Yeah.
Give it a room.
It's too rigid.
Okay, but from planning perspective, it's a good practice to have. What about dresses? How do you want to dress? Clean clothes, please. Okay, after the point of having at least clean clothes. Okay, ironed or not ironed. Okay,
Not smell
this is
clothes.
true. This is true. Okay, somebody came in and said after they bombed Syria, somebody from Russia, a minister from Russia, came in and he was so disturbed by the American bombing Syria in the last airstrike because the guy has a shirt without a tie and the shirt was not ironed. And all talk shows in the Middle East were just making fun of this guy, of this commentator who came on a program as a guest, and they say, no, we know that the Russian did not expect it and disturb them. I said, why? Because the guy did not have, the defense minister did not have a tie, and he has an open shirt, and the shirt doesn't look like iron. I said,
Like Trudeau dressing in a Muslim fashion.
in the Indian.
Yeah, in the Indian.
So what kind of dress you should have?
one that suits the audience.
Yeah, the one that suits the audience. So some people would like to be on the tie with the special colors like
Yeah.
purple. I used to be like that sometimes, and then we moved to the business casual, which is more comfort, like jeans and black shirt, or just something neat, clean. Feng Shui can give you somewhat more Feng Shui fashion can give you more advices. Avoid the extreme patterns, because extreme patterns like what Mike has or what Claude you have, it will be too much on the stage.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this will be too
Right.
much on the stage. If you have such a pattern, you have to close it with a single color jacket,
Really?
because you don't want to be. You want people to be able to look at you and feel you are wise. Feel you can take care of them. Okay, so you want to have a tie is good. You don't want to have a tie is okay. You want to have like what I'm having right now, like business casual, like a shirt, and you want to have a jacket. It's okay. You don't have a jacket. It's okay too. It's up to what you wanna feel comfort. The most important part is you need to be at least one step ahead. So if your audience have lots of jewelry, you have to be one step ahead.
They
Okay.
have jewelry too.
Yeah, not for us, but for the people who talk, the people who are like, if your audience will have believes in different stones and different, you have to have this.
Yeah.
So I look different when I go in front of different groups. That's it. Because I have to match my groups. Because what's my goal? Is my goal making money? No. My goal is to expand my message and help each one, and everyone needs my help. They pay us money for sustainable business, that's it. So if you go and match them and be 2 steps ahead, it will be great. So if you go to the constructions and you want to give this in front of foremen and people, you can go in a coverall. Nobody can comment about that.
Yeah.
But you cannot go in a tuxedo.
Right.
That's right. So if you are in the construction business and you talk to foremen or site managers, you are not allowed to go in tuxedos.
Right.
It will be business casual or just
Out of place.
you'll be out of place. Yeah, it's the same. We always say you cannot go in a suit to the beach, and you cannot go to a wedding in a swimming suit.
Mm.
Okay. What?
So you're going away from the pink?
No, I will have pink actually on May 4th. I most likely I will have pink
After May 4th?
Right.
because I'm on Business from the Heart group, so I will have my purple and my pink colors, which are my favorite colors. So I do my best to match
Your audience.
match my audience. Okay.
When I was running projects in construction, on Mondays I would wear beige. On Tuesdays I would wear red. Every subtrade meeting I'd wear red. And on Wednesdays I would wear blue. And then on Thursdays I would wear black. And on Fridays would be anything.
Jeans they open
But it was regular like that. It
Yeah.
was, and that had an impact for some reason or other. I haven't quite analyzed it, but I know subtrade meeting red had a huge impact.
Yep.
Funny.
There's also feng shui. It's feng shui, that's right, or feng shui?
Feng shui?
Feng shui, yeah.
Feng shui, yeah.
Feng shui. They have feng shui fashion,
Feng shui fashion.
which is there is
That's
a
gotta be plain.
there is a no. There is a fashionista.
What?
She might actually. I might see her tonight. Actually, she's very interesting. What you have to do and what kind of circles you need to have and what kind of squares. I don't believe in this. This is recorded, but okay, I don't believe this. But I can tell you, after this particular day, I was working from home. I had a blue shirt on, and I went in. Everything was done seamlessly, and even I finished everything quickly, faster than what I planned to, and I had more time to do extra. On the following day or the day, 2 days after, I was the same setting. I had similar schedule. I had the wrong shirt color. So nothing was working for the first 2 hours. So I went upstairs. I picked from the laundry the dirty shirt. I put it on. I went down. I've completed every single thing I need before 5 o'clock. And I said, "Oh my God! I don't believe in what you're saying, but it's working. It's working."
I know it has an impact.
I don't know. Anyway, then
The
the
color
most
we wear.
the most
Oh, no,
im-
I know.
the most important part is in 15.7 is the forms. What kind of forms you need to have, and do you have enough forms for everybody or not? What kind of pens and pencils you need to have. So you must have the forms. The forms, if somebody will sign up for you, you must have self-carbonized forms. And if you want to plan and do self-carbonized forms, we have ways here to produce them at a very lower cost than the market, and you can do like one if you like, one or two, you know. So we print them and we produce them internally here because it's very important that you make it easy. So if you have a self-carbonized form and people will sign up on it, they will keep the other form and you have the front. And if you have a partner or somebody helping you putting the program together, the partner may need a form. So usually you consider having 2 or 3 self-carbonized forms. So for my programs, I have 2 versions. One is 2 pages self-carbonized and one is 3. When I go to events, when I have a third party, I will always use the 3. And
3 levels, like.
yeah, like white, red, white, white, yellow, and pink, or white and yellow. So when it's my event, I use white and yellow. When it's somebody else's event, I will use white, yellow, and pink. I give the organizer the pink. I retain the yellow, and I retain the white. The customer will have the yellow and the pink. And on the back of each one of them, there is what?
Terms and conditions.
Terms and conditions. Okay? What else on stage setting you want to ask about?
On stage setting?
Yeah, which is section 15. Is there anything else we left? Is there anything other points?
Could
On
be,
the stage.
Yeah?
could be music.
Background music?
Or
Yeah,
starter and-
Music, yeah.
Music before, after, maybe during the,
Yeah.
if there's one-on-one activities.
Yeah, you can have music if you like. You can have motivational music. You can have different music. In 20 minutes, there is not much of music you can have, but music is a good subject, and it's a longer subject because it can drive the whole room energy. One more thing also you have to consider. Did anybody did the NLP training?
Well, partly.
Partly. So in NLP training, they talk about 3 or 4 different individuals. There is a kinesthetic people,
Visual and auditory.
auditorial, visual, and digital visual. So when you start your presentation, you shouldn't start at the high tone. You should start slowly. All the songs will start and then the rhythm will increase to get the kinesthetic, the auditorial, and the visual. Because the visual is more active, is more vocal, is more vulgar. The auditorial, if you come with a very high sound, the auditorial will go away. The kinesthetic will not join. So there is a difference between the energy of your presentation and the tone you produce. So usually we start at a lower to grab the kinesthetic. You increase the volumes of your tone, and then you go to the top one, which is the visual and digital visual.
Distant visual.
Digital visual, which is a different topic. We can talk about it later on. So, and you can tell because I was seeing some marketing materials the other day, and people will say, see 9 fabulous speakers or 9 powerful speakers. People will not come to a workshop to see speakers because the one who wrote the material is visual. We call it experience 9 powerful speakers. Not listen, because the one who will write listen will be auditorial.
Mm-hmm.
So experience is neutral.
experience is neutral.
Yeah.
And it covers all.
Just like
yeah.
imagine is neutral.
Yeah.
So there's quite.
Yeah, and if you observe this kind of categories or this kind of behavior, you will learn a lot around from people around you, and you'll be better engaging. It just takes one word. See 9 powerful speakers. I'm not going to workshop to see anybody. And I pass it over to my to Roya, and Roya, she is audible. She said, it's very strange. I wouldn't go to see. I will go to listen to speakers. I wouldn't see them. It doesn't matter, but
It's the experience
so
of your dominant learning style.
however, majority of the feelers of the relationship are not visual. Because if they can see it, they will understand the steps.
Well, 65% of people are visual, and 30 are.
The true feelers are not visual. They don't need to see it to feel it
Yeah,
Uh,
they can feel
yeah.
with their eyes closed.
with their eyes closed.
The sense.
But there's
that-
only 30% is auditory, and the rest is kinesthetic. So.
I
so
know this.
I think that might be overlapping. Might be.
It
different.
might be overlapping. However, I always see these different definitions, different models are helpful, because if I can know a little bit to be dangerous of every single level, what I will do, if I know
No,
that
you want to include everybody.
you
so-
want to include everybody.
Yeah.
Now, if you go to NLP and people will teach you NLP to include everybody, is this sufficient? Not in this business. If you go to DISC or bank code or behavioral performance modeling, is this sufficient for this business? No. This business, the best model we have been seeing it right now is the quadrant model. DISC is relevant, bank code is relevant, colors, performance, behavior is relevant. All these things are relevant, NLP, but they are not the core. We take from them some learning, but they are not the core. They become the core when you talk about closing objections, one-on-one, which we have some time to explain. Any questions? So I promise this time, that's why we expand. We used to do the whole thing in one day, by the way. And we did not do the first half. We start from section 7, and we took 2 days. So which one do you like? Do you like the 1 day or the 2 days format?
Even this was fast. Like, I didn't get complete notes on the thing.
You have you have access to the complete recording, so you can access. Okay.
So the recording from the first part is called what?
Selling through presentation 1.
Okay.
And selling through presentation 2 was only the slides because we didn't have recording. And this will be selling through presentation 3. Any questions or any last thoughts or any?
Well, I like today.
Feels good.
I thought
So
today
what
was,
is-
but I'm still curious about 7, 8, 9, 10.
So because I did not summarize today, so what is the best part of today did you like?
The best part of today,
And why?
I think, was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for me, because that is a thought process that I had not considered before, and it's new. It's new for me, and it's very relevant. It carries a lot of what I need to consider about my audience.
You good?
Yep.
Happy? Michaela, what did you like today? And
Well, there was quite a bit. I was really happy with the investment stuff and having some rules or ideas or guidelines, like 1 to 8 times as much or less. That was very helpful. And just really going through the idea, just kind of stepping it through, how it could look. Doing the crossing out and there was so much.
okay, I hope you are not overwhelmed.
It was full, very
Okay.
I do require more time to,
Absorb.
like, yes, to absorb. And I am, when I'm trying to, like, when you say something that is just like, oh, that's a good one. And then you're continuing to talk, I'm not getting the full benefit of what I just heard, because I'm also trying to hear what you're saying now.
So what you should do is, this might be taking a day or two to be online, but whenever this is online, you should go and listen to it. Like I had so much feedback, say like having just the recording of the session with the notes you have, it helps you connecting the dots. That's why people will say like, why you don't have like a professional recording for it. I cannot have a professional recording for 10 hours, about 5 hours a week average. This is how much I do, times 3 sessions, so 15 hours. I have no budget for them. Secondly, we are not selling this as a training. We are selling this as it's a complementary to what you do. So people say, why you keep doing it? A very simple reason is I got so much feedback that this is very useful when people just go and look at specific locations and just listen to. And we have the end where we can see how many viewing per sessions happening, so we know exactly who's there, who select this part. So it's very good. Anything else you want to add?
No, it was very good.
Mike, what do you?
It's really, really coming together, and I just have to work on my stories and start building it. And, just knowing how to push myself through it.
And please go to section 7 and start to fill the spaces, because this is the sequence. And ignore any part you don't like.
Yeah.
Remember, rule number 1 of the rules is to break the rule, but this is the rule. Just follow as much as you can.
Yeah.
And I know for what you said last time is, I don't feel that the info nuggets are connecting.
I think I've got that. It was just because I was trying to do it while here with everything, and I just don't work that way.
Yeah, I don't
I
want
need
that either.
quiet. I need.
Like when you tell us to do an exercise, chances are you're going, okay, let's discuss it, and I haven't even started. I'm already in my thought process.
Processing,
I'm still processing. I haven't even put the pen down,
Yeah.
and you're already opening up the discussion.
And that's why I'm doing less of this interactive work on Mondays in particular, because I believe for you guys having the information at your fingertip is more valuable than just challenging to spend more time doing stuff right now, which is I'm not sure if this is suit you better or
You
not.
mean like giving the information.
And then having Saturday where we should be able to practice more,
Sure.
and you can practice on your own time. And some people criticized me and said you are more of an instructional, not facilitator. I said I don't care what you label me. What I care about is you understand, because all what we discussed for the last 12 hours of instructions and sharing is only this sheet. That's it. We went into details on specific parts, but all what discussed is only this sheet. We went into details at different levels. We shared specific ideas, specific practice on some aspect of it, but that's it. So can you go back and make sure you can deliver following this sequence? And if you don't like part of the sequence, shows us the alternative part and let's discuss it, because you understand now why each one of this sequence is relevant. Yeah. Any other?
like for me, I come here on Monday because I've allocated Monday to be here. I like what I see, what I get, what I hear. I leave with something. Okay, I never walk away out of here with nothing. But the rest of the week is so full for me that I do not make the time to go back on the material that I addressed on Monday.
And I want to address this point.
And this is very fast presentation. Like you, I don't have time to make notes and listen to you at the same time. So I miss some of the continuity of what you're talking about.
Okay.
I do miss that.
And you have access to the recording, so.
Yeah. So I need to take time outside of today to do that.
And this is one important part. If you came through the standard program which we offer, you will learn that you need to spend at least 10 hours to 20 hours a week working on your program. You have the time, because in your week, if you work full time 9 hours and you do every single thing else, you have a time. I shared with you a time schedule where you have like 47 hours extra per week, where you do the extra. You sit in front of the TV, you go to with your kids, you do activities, you do here and there, you go to the bar, you go to the meetup. There are 47 hours and a half extra after sleeping and doing every single thing per week. So the example was you eat 1 hour and a half and 2 hours, or 1 hour in the working day, 2 hours in the weekends. You work for 9 hours. You have 1 hour to take care of yourself, brush teeth and do whatever you want, and sleep for 8 hours, which is, I don't sleep for 8 hours, but this is the average number. If you do the math of all of these hours, you end up having 48 and a half, I believe, hours available for you per week. Being aware of this 48 and a half, which is more than full-time job, if you dedicate 10 to 20 hours, you should be able to build a program. The more you dedicate, the more the faster way to build a program. If you don't devote this amount of hours per week on the average, which means every month you have to make sure you dedicate some hours, you will not be able, you will always be hanging there, and then you will blame yourself not to be as successful because you cannot do it. So for me, I go like I was on the last 2 weeks, I spent enough time because I'm launching something on the side. I spent enough time doing it. I know that today I have to spend 6 hours. So I said, I'm not going anywhere, guys. I'm sitting, I have business. I'm doing it. If you need me to help here and there, I can do it, but the total time is 6 hours. So you must be able to devote 10 to 20 hours. People who want to build it faster, they devote 40 hours a week working on their programs. You come here and spend about 10 hours every 2 weeks. So you spend here like 5 hours average per week. So you should put towards that another 10 to 15 hours from your own time. You can budget this on the weekends more if you work full days. You can budget this in the week and after hours. You can do whatever you want to do. You want to budget them to be like 7 hours on Saturday, 7 hours on Sunday. Keep doing it for 6 weeks or 8 weeks, and you will have something coming out. But you come here, you attend, very good, you like it. You go home, you find yourself now Saturday, I'm coming here. You go home, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen.
Yeah,
You will be way
you
more
gotta spend
frustrated.
additional time for applying the material.
Yep. Mariana, what do you?
Well, it was really good to have a refresher. I'm sorry I missed the other parts. The part I particularly liked was looking at the layers, adding that, and you will just have to go over it again and listen to the recording. And so, a comment I want to make about auditory people, like talking about looking at people. When you're speaking, auditory people like to look away.
Yep.
And because they can hear better, because it's all about hearing, they can hear better, hear you talking and take in the information. So if people look away, doesn't mean that they're not interested in you. So, there's about 30% of the people are auditory, and so.
So that's good. That's good. Any last comment from anyone? Before we go, there is something I promised to say and I did not have a chance. The last question is, what's the difference between this sequence in a seminar versus webinar?
Well, the seminar is a live audience, and the webinar is online.
It's online. So what's the difference?
You don't know who your audience is on a webinar.
So how can I tailor this to fit a webinar? So the first things you need to consider for a webinar is you can have
can ask them for questions and to respond in the comment box.
So you can have housekeeping differently. So the housekeeping for a seminar is what? If the MC will not do it, you can point out where is the washroom, where is the
Oh,
fire
I see,
exit.
okay.
Don't use your phone. Don't make your phone on silent or no vibration, please, because it will disturb people. Don't talk to the one beside you. All of these restrictions, you do it in housekeeping here.
Yep.
What are the housekeeping for a webinar? Adjust the display of your screen. Make sure you turn off your Facebook app.
So you
And-
get the pop-ups, see?
And yeah, make sure you don't you stay away from your email. And so there are some housekeeping difference between
Yeah,
a
of
seminar and a webinar. What else? Instead of saying yes or yes, what you do? Click here on the hands or wave. Usually the webinar will have a hand or a wave, or just type yes in the chat room.
Yeah.
Okay. So the second difference is the interaction has to be typed, not
That's spoken.
spoken. What about the activities?
Sorry, what has to be spoken?
The interaction has to be typed or
But
clicked.
not necessarily. I'm attending a webinar tomorrow night, and you can ask the questions.
Not vocals. You
Yeah.
can write. So you can the questions will not go to everybody. So this will not be a webinar. This will be a
It's called a webinar.
yeah. But if you ask them a question and you get the microphone and everybody else will hear you,
Yeah.
this is not a webinar.
It's like a Zoom session. It's a Zoom
Yeah.
session.
Is
Yeah,
it
it's a Zoom
usually even
meeting.
Oh, it's a Zoom meeting. That's
Yeah,
not a
Zoom.
webinar.
This is not a webinar.
No.
Because in a webinar, you can actually record the webinar and you can always talk about people in the webinar, and the webinar will be re-recorded and it can play on its own.
Okay.
And there are people actually are faking up the bad connections and making sound like it's real and the network is not there. So once they finish this webinar, go to another session, you will hear the same faking it up. And sometimes they say, please go on the webinar and ask questions. From where are you? So people will write like, this guy from Missouri, this guy from Atlanta, this guy from Georgia, this guy from Canada, this guy from here. Sometimes this webinar you are the only ones there. Nobody of these people are there, actually. And the timers, even with Webinar Jam, you can have the timer and show how many audience. Sometimes you are the only one. And you see like 300, 400 people there.
Sometimes.
Actually, it's all the time. It's almost all the time. It's very rare on a webinar, which can be done every hour for 45 minutes, to have more than 10 people or 5 people, or maybe sometimes it's one
Oh, per session.
per session, yeah.
Ah, okay.
And they pre-recorded, they make it sound like so many people there. And the Webinar Jam, which is the tool they use, are allowing them to do this. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about a webinar where you actually present as a webinar and you will be able to have interaction. So the interaction for the webinar are different.
Mm-hmm.
The offer is different, because in the offer, what you will do, you will say there is a link here, sign up on the form. And then they have to submit, and you have to acknowledge their submission. So you don't hand in a form, you give them a link, and when they go to the link, you have to deal with the submission. You can still go in the back of the webinar. If you want to do a webinar, you must have a PowerPoint slides. And the PowerPoint shall be blank. No information about your company, no information about anything else. Its recommendation is to have a complete white background. And people are criticizing that and said, no, we have this nice template where I paid for it like $300 and $5,000 for my package, and I do it. Even if you have PowerPoint slides here, you should have them blank.
What do you mean by blank?
White.
No
No,
logo.
no theme.
No logo.
No themes, no coloring, no fancy.
But the webinar subject
Because and let's just everybody digest the question, and then we can talk about because.
So what?
Because of what? What? Let's go with the question. We did not answer the
The
question.
question is, what's blank?
Blank means white background. Just
A
one
white background.
single color background. There is
Okay,
no
it's the
logo.
background.
Yeah, there is no logo. There is
I
no
got it.
information.
Yeah.
The question is why. And we were
That's not the
about
place for it.
we were about to answer by because. So before we go to because, what are you talking about here? You talk about pain points. That's right. You talk about sorrow. You talk about stuff which people can cry for it.
Yeah.
So when you talk about pain point and have your logo on the same screen, it means what?
Yeah.
Insensitive.
It means
you're a
people
pain point.
people will connect your logos to the pain points, not to
Yeah.
the happy outcome.
Yeah.
So at our level, just start with a blank background, white background with black colors, or black background with white colors if you are not visually impaired like me. But just a white background, nice font, black, that's it. An image or a photo is great, that's it. When you go to the higher level, you will find out that when you share the stories and you share the testimonials and you talk about the happy outcome, you can start to show your logo and company contact information. But when you go to the challenges, the background will be white. And this is an advanced level. So when you go and consider this, we are here trying to connect you, we're trying to connect your logos to the solutions of the problem, not to
The problem.
the problems. So this is, I can tell you, like one of the hottest topic ever in discussions between me and everybody in this area is they want to use their templated PowerPoint slides. And one came to me and said, I paid $5,000 for somebody to create this package for me. Why I cannot use it? I said, because your audience don't want to connect this. You can use this in your workshop, in your information session. You can. However, if you want to give them information here, you should give them the information without being biased. When we talk about clothes, we didn't tell you to put your logo here, because you shouldn't go around with your logo. Because if people make an idea about who you are, they will box you as one of those who they don't like. Because we only decide who we don't like. Do you ever decide who do you like? Do you feel your husband, do you feel your kids when you like them? Do you feel them around you? No. You only feel them when you don't like them. Watch out your life. See who you don't like. Do you talk about your friends when you like them? Or only when you don't like them? Do you go to your spouse or your brother or your sister or your mom or your dad or your whoever and say, oh, you know what, Jem, I like him today? No. You go and complain about Jem was nasty today because he did 1, 2, 3 to me. That's right or wrong? For 80% of us is correct. So when you come neutral with a blank background, with a white background, with a single color background, without any logos, and you talk about the market, people will not be concerned that you'll be pushing them toward a solutions. It will flow naturally. When you talk about the pain point, people will not link and give an emotional link between your logos and the negative information. I can keep saying, iterating and repeat my information in so many science and art of communication, which will lead to one thing. Take my word for it, guys. Have a blank, start with a blank background, means you go, start anew, have a new PowerPoint slide. They tell you what's the template, select blank, means white. type the information in black, add your images to it, no background, no numbers at the end, at the side of the slides, because nobody need to know what page you are in. So they don't have any perception whatever, and just keep going.
And where might you introduce your logo in your personal story?
In the solution.
In the personal story, in the solutions, in testimonials, in when you have your offer,
Okay.
because that's you.
Yeah.
If you put your logo at the story level, they will correlate that this is part of you.
Mm.
So I would recommend just to go with a blank template for now. Have one bullet. You finish, second bullet, just one line each one. The only place where you don't need to have one line is where the offer is. People can read the one line. And if you even have questions, frequently asked questions, you have the question. Use the clicker to get the second one. Use the clicker, and when people come and say, "Oh, we don't have, can we have your presentation on a PowerPoint on a stick?" Say no. I will bring my own laptop because I have my clicker, I have my own system, I have my own recording, I have my own video testimonials. I cannot put them. It will take me longer time. This is what I do. I have all kind of cables. I go, and sometimes I go with my own extra projector too. And I will show up and say, I have my projector. Can we switch projectors? People will say, no, I'm a professional speaker. I come with my own material and my own, I know it works for me. And if you need projectors or you need clicker or need any of this material, let me know. We should have some in the office because we have at least 2 projectors. So don't go and say, oh yeah, because this is the best I can get. No, the best you can get is what you can take with you. That's right. So these are the areas where you talk about webinar. So for webinar, a PowerPoint slide is a must. They see you at the very beginning is important too, to know that you are real. So you can turn on your camera a little bit, and then say, I will take the camera away because I don't want to disturb you with my camera so you can focus on the screen. You ask them to switch all background software, and then you start one by one by one by one by one by one. You come to the offer, you say, here is my link to the offer. You click here to sign up, and usually you congratulate them on signing up. Make sense?
Yep. The white background eliminates the distractions.
It also eliminates the distractions,
I like it.
you know? And I can tell you, I work with people who have a very sophisticated logos that I could not understand till now. And you can look at the logos for like 6 hours, and you cannot make up what this sign's about. And when you have your logo, and then the image will come to the logo, and this will cover the logo, and it's just too much. Just too much. Spend the time in building a more powerful engagement thing. And please spend at least equivalent amount of hours. If you cannot even have enough time, if we spend here 6 hours today, within the next 2-3 days, spend at least 6 hours, or at least 1 to 2 hours a day reviewing the material. If you don't work on your own time, nothing will happen. You have to hire me as a consultant if you want to get things to be done. Not as a, you call it coach, mentor, you call it whatever. Any more questions? Any more discussion points? So I'm meeting here on Saturday, and you will be able to practice this sequence. And please take advantage of it, because this might be the only time where you can have direct feedback from people around you. And if you want to bring somebody to watch you on Saturday, or more than happy, just let me know, and just bring whoever you want to bring. Okay?
Thank you.
Pleasure having you here. And
Copyright
let me know if you
2017
have any
Win Your
questions.
Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.